Hello, Derek Bergener here. It is November 7th, 2017, and I'm going to do a trade recap of Weight Watchers, WTW. And I was so torqued this morning. My TC2000 was having problems with data feed, and that's my primary resource for charting and watching charts. And for the first 30 minutes, like sometimes my charts would just go completely blank. And then it was when it was lagging, it was missing data, it was just like so screwed up. I chatted with TC2000 people and they're like, oh yeah, we're having problems. I'm like, oh great. So Weight Watchers was one of my primary watches for the morning, and I was so torqued that TC2000 wasn't working. I completely missed it. But anyway, I'm going to recap it because there was lots of interesting stuff. So we go to here. This is my TC2000. I took a screenshot from the 1 minute chart, and then here is a screenshot of the daily. So the most interesting thing here from the daily, and here you'll get to just watch me use snag it here, right? So cool, draw little lines. Now, we don't know that it's going to dump out to this level yet, right? So I'm kind of giving it away. But, you know, here's the thing that we do know. It gapped up like in this area, right? We do know that it gapped up in that zone. It gapped above the previous high. So that's kind of like the title of my video. That's how I saved this, called Gap Above Previous High. Gap Above Previous High. And so that's a key area, and I think that was 49.32, if I remember, was the exact number. So now let's go into my little thing here, and if I find 49, I'm not going to find it exactly, but it really doesn't matter. Let's just call it, somewhere right in here. We know that this is the that's the previous high on the daily. So now we know this about the pre-market. Here's pre-market, hit highs here. So 51.50. Imagine that, $0.50. And then here's a low here, pre-market, just above 50. Okay, so those are interesting levels. And now here I'm going to try something. Hopefully this works. Alright, so I think what I got to do is grab, see, I got to grab this little dot right there. Then I can advance this one candle at a time. So there's your opening range candle right there. Your first 1 minute candle. I don't know what to do with that, right? Oh, darn it. Why did that change? All right, back there. But the thought was, Pat said in pre-market that, in the pre-market planning, that Weight Watchers, when it gaps up, it's generally very strong, but watch for a pullback. And there's your, now, here, the other thing that was interesting is there's the $50 level too. The $50 was in play, but this 49.32 was in play. So I didn't really know what to do, but man, my TC2000 was messing up, and it was just I don't know. So there's the first candle. I didn't know what to do with it. Second candle, I didn't know what to do with that. I did nothing. Third candle, didn't know what to do. So in hindsight, I was thinking about the psychology here. Okay, so this has a nice big gap up. And why isn't it dumping out yet? Maybe because people are just waiting to see, if this thing runs, why would they sell? But maybe it's just having this struggle right here, and it's not running, and people finally decide, okay, I'm going to get out and take my profits, and BAM! Look what happened. Now here is where you have to just get brave and take the trade. That's unbelievable. It came down within a few pennies. I think it came down to 49.25. Let's cheat here and get a little, yeah, like 49.25, and the previous high was 49.32. Like, that's splitting hairs right there. So if you're really on the ball, that's where you want to take your entry, because if it fails below that level, what's your risk? You just get out after 10 cents below that level or something. And that's something that I have a really, really hard time doing. Plus, my TC2000 was screwing up. I couldn't do anything for the first 30 minutes. So, okay, next candle. Look at that. Oh, this is some wild, crazy range. So you would have to have been like really quick to nail that. And if you weren't, no worries. Like, people were getting frustrated with Weight Watchers, and if you just watch Weight Watchers, watch what happens here. As time goes on, look what's... oh, wait, let me back up here, and let me show you something. I forgot to draw this here. Notice this right here is making like a perfect symmetrical triangle. You see those higher lows and lower highs? I forgot to point that out. So that means, something's going to break. So now we go down, it broke down to this level exactly where it was supposed to go to. And now watch what's happening here. You just watch and see what's happening here. Let's draw some more trend lines on the top here and on the bottom there. Like, this is also making a very nice symmetrical triangle, but with some pretty wild range. And if you miss that very bottom, I don't know what you do. You just have to wait. And it doesn't... Oh, so now it breaks to the upside. But this is where you would have to be watching this triangle right here, and also thinking that, okay, this thing has tested the low, it's getting bought up, it's getting higher lows, and you're looking for a break to the upside or a break to the downside. And even if it broke to the downside, I don't think I would be so like anxious to get in, because you could come back down and test that level again. But a break to the upside means like the plan is working. This thing had a morning dip, a sell-off, down to support, and now a break to the upside. Like, that's where you would want to get in. And you got to be like quick and reactive. And then look at it. That's just crazy what it did. This is why it drove people crazy, probably because it's just moved so fast. But you can see, like, there's a nice flag. And if you were like trying to anticipate the move, you could like let it go down to the the lower side of that trend. That's maybe if you traded Weight Watchers before, which I never really have, you'd know that it reacts really fast, and you have to like get in on the low side. And if you did, okay, let's say you get on one of these little dips for anticipation of the break to the upside. What are you going to risk? You would get out. You'd be at, like, let's say you got in on one of these dips here at, call it 49.70, and you're risking to 49.30. Well, that's 50 cents, so you better size accordingly. 70 to 30, no, 40 cents, right? Okay, so anyway, so shoots up, and if you had gotten in on one of those, you'd be so stoked right now. Bam! Points. Now, if you didn't, okay, notice here, it broke above the morning high, the pre-market high. That's good. And now the question is it going to hold it? Well, this thing is like so wild and crazy. And the next candle, flies up. Now, flies up, this would be like a total chase. The only way you could maybe get an entry was to realize that this is the pre-market high, and it just broke above it, and it just whipped down below, and it just got bought up. And you see the lows of these candles right here, or the you just have to have like faith, risk that level and get in right there. And it never really pulled back to the 9 EMA. This was just a mover, but there is chances if you're fast to to get in here. Then look at that rip. Now, okay, see this candle right here? The other day on Shop, it gave a rejection candle like this, and I got short and I got faked out. This is a momentum stock making a breakout. This is an earnings. This was an earnings winner, right? So don't get faked out. Remember, watch the 9 EMA. See this little blue line? This is my 9 EMA right here on the 1 minute. Don't get faked out by that. And remember the volatility that this thing has. And watch what's going to happen here. See the 9 EMA creeping up and getting closer and closer. Now see that green right there? That's where I got long, and I kind of got long a little bit early, because you're supposed to wait for a candle to make a new high. Green candle will make a new high before. And I kind of got in a little bit early, got a little bit of FOMO. And it's pulling back to the 9. But man, well, okay, the other thing I thought of is when this thing breaks, it's going to break fast. So I better just get in because it is flagging. And see, at the time, I drew this line like, it popped up there. Like, how do you draw your flag, right? But it is flagging. You see that? It's making higher lows and lower highs. It's flagging. It's making a symmetrical triangle flag. And the 9 EMA is creeping up underneath. So if it's going to break to the upside, this is where it's going to do it. So I got in, and if I didn't, one next candle and boom. So when that thing broke out, I don't know if you could have caught an order, caught a decent fill in there. Then it pops up, and I got out right there. So that was my big trade on Weight Watchers today. Right? Let's see. I forget, what this was, but yeah. And then my risk would have been like down here. If it failed, would have got down it. So what was that? 2 to 1 or something. But it's okay, I guess. Then I'll go on here and show you where I lost it all back. So anyway, now it became, see that sometimes these little flags, they're so short. It barely pulled back to VWAP. Like this is a momentum stock, like on a rampage here. And so you have to just, if you want to get in long again, it's a little tough. And then you have the candle break there. And one thing that I looked for here, and I saw, you have 1 flag, 2 flags, 3 flags. And in general, the rule of thumb I've been told, and I see it over and over, is don't go long beyond 3 flags. However crude and rough they look, that was indeed 3 flags up on the momentum run. And sure enough, we have this pullback. You break below the 9 EMA. And so now the question is this a top? And people were looking for a top at like 55. And this, being a nice whole, the 55 would be a better like whole round number. And, it never got there. It went to 54.50. And so now the question would be, okay, if this is the top, where do you get short? I guess, this ain't easy. So you could have drawn like, a trend line up like that, and get short on the break of that trend. That would be one way. A little better way, some confirmation. We have a pullback, and look at the 9 EMA curling over, right? And you know, maybe you get short in here on, like, see this area right here. Wait, what did I just draw? I don't know. Something. Well, whatever. This area right here, you have a couple of tests of that level, and maybe draw a trend line underneath those levels. Like, this is moving and shaking, so you'd have to be on your game here. Then if you miss that, so then we have a pop right there, so you'd have to be like drawing a trend line underneath here and seeing that pop up to the previous, near the previous level, get short like on that pop, and then you know your downtrend is pretty much underway. There's another higher low, no, lower high. Duh. So you know, watch these lower highs, and boom, now you're on your way back down to VWAP. Maybe. Yes. So then, you know, that would be the end of the move, because this is a momentum stock. At best, it's going to pull back to VWAP. And then, sure enough, well, no, sometimes it goes below. You never know. So, cover some and hold some, right? And now look here, it's holding. Now it's below the 9 EMA, right? Holding on this trend. Now we got like a little double bottom here. So is this meaningful? I don't know. Yep, it would have been. Now, so for a bottom, like bottoms are kind of hard, but you would like draw this trend line here, and once it popped above the trend, came back down and tested. See that one little candle right there? Came back down and tested that trend line, and then you get a green candle, next green candle to go, next candle to make a new high. You could go long there. But it's under VWAP, you know, so you do, like some people say, I never go long when it's under VWAP, right? So you just have to wait. And then is it going to get up above VWAP? And so let's see. I went long right here. Don't ask me why. Well, I guess I'm thinking, okay, that it has bottomed. And it came back and it's touching the 9 EMA, and I want to get in low if it's going to go. And, oh, it cleared VWAP, so it's holding VWAP, so I added right there. That's what I did. And then it was like tanked back down. Duh. And so I gave up. I covered right there and lost. Gave up everything I won before. Stupid. And what do we got here? Oh, I went long again, thinking it's holding VWAP and it's going to go. And I covered. This is like stupid trading. Because there was no trend, and that was it. So I think I totally broke even on Weight Watchers. Anyway, that is my trade review. Okay, hopefully that was helpful to somebody. I did make one good trade there. I should have just hung on. I know one member in the group or in the chat, I think they got long right here and said they made 2 different trades and got a total of 5 points on Weight Watchers. So that is awesome. Anyway, that's my trade review. Thanks. Bye.